But no, Beth York goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome to the CVRcade World Cup live here in CVR World Cup mixer page. You may notice the surroundings around me are a bit different today than to the usual. Don't worry, it's not just because I'm having a bad hair day that I'm covering up my face. I'm out of the studio, I'm out of the office, but that doesn't mean we're not going to have a live stream of all the action here on a Saturday. We've got Zone E coming up now, we've got Zone K and L later on tonight, and we want to bring you all the action. So we're in the later stages of week 3. On Tuesday starts week 4 of the open session here in the CVRcade World Cup. We're racing for that overall prize purse of $25,000. That's what we're headed towards. And coming to the end of the open sessions, people are starting to ask questions about the bracketed session, where the winner of that, the Elite Series Omnium, will take home $3,000. So we're heading through the progressions. There's a lot of money on the line. Today, we've got 4 races on display. We start with the fantastical course that is Aqua Velo. It's the no-skill event of the day. We move on to Cityscape, New York. We're going to be riding around Central Park. Then we head on to the course that I created, Mountain Bike by Jesper. 7 laps. That's going to be rough. And we finish with a bit of a leg test, a bit of a leg snapper in Dust Bowl Crypt. But with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, we have everybody's fan favorite Timothy Tamont broadcasting in alongside others. Timothy, this is your preferred zone. You're going up against Sadeo Ikiba and Thomas Tibbling, who also have this as their preferred zone. How confident do you feel in your ability to beat those 2 riders in these 4 races?
Confident. Yeah, you can't always be like confident on K. There's so many things that go wrong that can go wrong to them. So I'm just gonna give it everything. We all got the preferred zone, so bonus points are out of the way. I just gotta beat them man to man, and yeah, we're gonna try everything. They've both been racing more and more, so they're getting better and better.
Wow. Especially now with the recent acquiring for CCC, Thomas Tibbling, he's got the power. Now he's part of Team CCC. Does that worry you that he's now got the backing of the Yellow Riders?
I don't think they're here for this race. Oh, Homer just joined. Yeah, rip. No, he's a strong pickup for CCC, definitely. So I'd love to see that.
Now, for you, you've got Tim Fulford here as well. So you've got a teammate. Thomas Tibbling's got a teammate. Sadeo for Cognition has got Allison as well. So who's got the better teammate of the 3 preferred zone riders?
Me, obviously. Come on, Tim's world class. We got this. We got this. I believe. Let's say it. We got this.
Well, on that note, Timothy, Aqua Velo coming up. No skill event. Yeah. Do you think we'll see a long attack, or do you think we'll see a sprint in this one?
I can see a long attack happening. It's long. It's only 1.5k in total, so it won't be that long. But yeah, I can see it going not to a sprint. So we got to pay full attention here.
Well, good luck, Timothy. We get going in 25 seconds. Also broadcasting in, Alison Kubota of Cognition. She's on the screen. Also, Thomas Tibbling, the newest acquiree of Team CCC. It's good to see him as well. I think I can still perhaps just hear Timothy Tamont's bike in the background here as we get ready now. 5, seconds to go. Who will take the first lead at the front? I think I can still hear a I'm not sure what it is, either through the broadcast or through the game, but I can hear a bike spinning around. So as the riders are getting ready and rocking, so are the kickers across. Thomas in there, so is Timothy Tamont. Thomas uses comeback kit very early on here to try and get through, and he does succeed here using comeback kit. He's out in the front, but the question is it too much? Yes, so I think the audio that was coming through on my end is the broadcast widget within the game. You can stream your look, and that's exactly what was coming through. So Dale, we keep it down in sixth. He's just off the back here with Homer Thompson as well. 3 seconds between them. Sharon, Vanessa, Kayla all struggling. But Allison, Thomas, Timothy, they seem to be set at the frontier as Allison Kubota is up early in the morning over in the United States. Good to see Cognition coming out to play and helping the rider. So the Sadeo is off the back, and I think Sadeo may still be a Cade cadet. And as you raise the CVRcade World Cup and you raise it more and more, you rank up. You go up through the rankings from Cade cadet to Cade competitor, Cade master, etc. And that's what you're going to need to see here as Homer Thompson is using his comeback kit to come back in. And with 600 meters to go, this could be a move for Homer Thompson to come over the top and go on through. So let's see. He comes back up, and we've got two riders with two teammates up here as Homer has a higher speed differential entering the last lap of racing. We've also got Tim Fulford in the racing today, and he is being distanced here with Allison Kubota just off the back. Timothy Tamont, Thomas Tippling, the two riders, they are on it. 200 meters to go. Who will it be? Timothy still got his comeback kit left. Thomas Tippling, Timothy Tamont, 100 meters to go. Timothy gives this everything. It is neck and neck, and I think Timothy Tamont takes it right on the line ahead of Allison Kubota with Thomas Tippling fourth, Tim Fulford fourth, Homer fifth, and then Sadeo further down fighting with Vanessa. They're going to be sprinting to the line here as Sadeo will come on through, and he's got still a half a lap to go. As you can see the instant replay here, it was really close to the wire. Allison, Timothy, they were sprinting. Thomas Tippling was there as well. Timothy chooses to go for a long one here as he can see Thomas has attacked. Allison comes through. Then Timothy comes through as well. And they're just neck and neck. And these sprints, thanks to the no-skill event power abilities, just make that finish line ever so close as you get the side-on shot caught by our executive producer back in the studio. But congratulations, Timothy. One race down, one victory, very close with Allison. Was there a moment where you thought you didn't have that one?
Kinda, yeah, because I made the mistake of chasing Thomas right away. I should have just stayed with Allison and Tim and went for like a lap and a half with the combat kit. That should have went a little bit easier, but I chased him, I brought him back, and then Homer came flying past, and it was full on from that moment. Whew.
Catch your breath, man, because you've got 3
you.
laps of Cityscape New York coming up. Let's go,
with wins.
Because we heard from you in the beginning. Now let's go and talk to Thomas, because Thomas, you've recently been acquired by Team CCC. Talk me through the decision-making. What's it like to be joining one of the stable teams on CVRcade?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
My God, oh, great. Oh, a little bit of, put some extra pressure on, which is good. A lot more fun. And I hope I can help my teammates there, as I haven't been so far up in the field. Unfortunately, I don't know why my skin didn't change, but it should be yellow. So I don't know.
I'm sure the game will pick up. We'll get the point for matching bonus jerseys, as I'm sure the game will pick it up. Could just be a visual glitch. But Thomas, we see Sadeo, we keep out here. We see the other riders. You've progressed from a Cade cadet to a Cade competitor. What's it been like to go and have that initial, you ride, but the game kind of pulls you back, but now you are a competitor and it's confident in your ability. What's it like now compared to when you first came on the platform?
I wouldn't say confident, but no, it's been a journey, a nice one, because I haven't really been inspired for a long time in biking, and suddenly you're on at least 3 full hours in a week, plus some extra training. So it's been a pickup curve. I'm sure my legs feel, but that's just fun.
That's the most important thing, Thomas. Now, Cityscape New York, you're going up against Timothy Sadeo, Allison Tim. How do you feel about this one, racing on New York?
You're asking me, right?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it typically comes up as beginners, right? Or one of the first ones where you can practice. So I'm getting familiar with it. I'm still trying to figure out the draft side of things. To if you lose it so fast. So it's really to be on the edge, but not to bump into the guy in front of you. So yeah, but otherwise it's flat. I don't know if that suits me. I mean, everyone else is so strong, so we'll see. I'm just going to try to stay with the Pelton there.
That's the spirit. 5 seconds to go. Good luck, Thomas. We'll see a quick start out of the gate. Timothy, Allison, Thomas Tibbling, all on the broadcast today as Allison. You can see she is coming out with something to prove here. She's got her teammate Sadeo Ikeba. He's racing, and he's one of the CVR legends. He's in 4th right now. This race does have a wind. It's got a crosswind. We keep an eye on Sadeo Ikeba because this is his preferred zone. He's up there with Thomas Tibbling, with Timothy, and he is sitting on the wheel. You've got to be searching for that draft because you may think that staying on the wheel of the rider ahead of you is the place to be. But it comes down to where are you sitting? Where is the wind coming from? You've got to be creating that echelon as the different riders. As Sharon Hackathorn is moving up to the front. And now here comes the butts. Orwell, Elisha, Howard, Clarence. These are the riders that are going to make the difference because in the recent races on the CVRcade World Cup, we've been adding in the butts. We've been adding in the butts to create that pack riding dynamic that is so crucial in the CVRcade game because CVRcade, your last course was a fantastical looking scene, or theme, but the dynamics, the physics are so realistic, and that really comes to shine when you add in more riders like this. You can see Allison on the screen. She is searching for a teammate. They are linked up, Sadeo and Allison. 163 equalized from Sadeo, 171 from Timothy, 186 from Thomas Tibbling. You heard Thomas say it's all about learning how to draft for this one, and he's sitting in very comfortably here on the left as we've got Sadeo on the screen. This is the long race of the day. This is the 10-kilometer race, and you look at the scoring multiplier. It is 3. So whoever crosses that line first will take home 90 points. And that is a major, major scoring multiplier to take home and keep in the bank. Because we saw on Thursday in the 3 different zones that Team CCC all won, that it makes all the difference. This long race sets the tone for the following 2 races. Because after this, we hit on mountain bike by Jesper and then Dust Ball Crit. Timothy Tamont sitting comfortably further down, but his equalized heart rate is relatively low. Tim's further down, his teammate as well. And as we head into the last week of the CVRcade World Cup Open Sessions, it's all about making sure you're part of that top 30 because I believe it's top 30 that qualify for the elite bracket. And whoever wins the elite bracket series Omnium, they will take home $3,000 from riding their bike. And yes, you heard that right. From riding your bike, getting exercise, having fun, getting fit, using power-ups, you have a chance of winning $3,000 in just the elite bracket. And then you move on to the grand finale where the winner will take $5,000. Allison Kubota, she's still in here. She's got Sadeo on her left. Side by side they go and they're sheltering each other. In this race, you do have power-ups. First of all, the ability that's on at all times is uncrashable, meaning that you will not crash, you will not fall off your bike. You have 2 Racer's Edge, 2 Wind at your back, and 2 Quantum Shifts. It's 3 laps long, and we look who's going to use their power-ups. When are they going to use them? Because usually for these long events, as Guillermo moves up on the left here as well, you can see him. It's Frank, it's Kayla, it's CVR. They take their spanners and they go, I see you, and I throw it in your works. That's what they do, and they're not quite doing it in this one, as Kayla off the back, Frank choosing to get some sleep this morning, which I do not blame him for. But now we look. Thomas Tippling, 700 equalized watts. Like, this is the thing. When you're sitting in the group here, you need to be comfortable. You need to be in there. Thomas, you can sit at, like, if you have the right drafting percentages, you can sit at 200 equalized, 250 equalized, because that's what everyone else is doing around you. As Timothy's at 230, 250. He's got his captain ahead of him as they link up now. And I think Team Cycling Hub, they may be getting ready to make a move here. Homer Thompson is in the race as well, I believe. We look to the back. He's not quite in this one. He was in the first one, maybe just getting ready for the next one here. As we look from the side on angle, as you can see, Timothy Tomont sitting here. I wondered, because Thomas is at 189. He's working really hard here. So when you are, when you're in the game and you're drafting, if you look at the bottom bar, you'll see the drafting percentage. The higher that is, the less work you have to do. So when you see 40, when you see 50%, that means you're literally saving 50% of your power output. So being at 189 now, it could be nerves, it could be excitement, it could be perhaps over, because what is happening, if you go to the first person view here on Thomas, you'll see he's literally on the back wheel of Orville ahead of him. He is glued to that back wheel, and it's great and it's perfect, but it depends on where the wind is coming from. Because in real life, when you're riding your bike and the wind is coming from the left, you want to have someone on your left covering you, because the rider in front of you will not do much. As Thomas at 190 equalized heart rate. He's found the joy for cycling again. We'll see if that will come to play and be an advantage, as we've got 3 laps of Cityscape New York here. So Deo Ikiba is still in this front group. This is the first time we're seeing the awesome, the iconic Ikiba shuffle there in the group. And I can't wait to see the day where Sadeo comes on stream here and we get to see how he shuffles while clicking the keyboard. That's going to be the day that CVRcade World Cup Racing live here in Mixer takes it to the next step. But Allison from Cognition with Sadeo from Cognition, it's good to see teams having teammates in here and using it to their advantage. As you can see, Allison, she's marking Timothy and marking Tim and Thomas. What's going to happen next? That's the question, because so far, everyone has somewhat of agreed to rest, to be relatively easy in here. It's only really Thomas Tibbling. And I think if you are the CCC teammates, if you're Homer, Peter, Ben, you're rewatching this, Thomas has got watts for days. He's so physically strong. But I think that's where being part of a team and being part of a collective, you can share your thoughts, share the advice. Because being at 367 here, it seems quite high. You look at Sadeo, he's at 240. You look at Allison, 240. Timothy, 190. And these are the parts where you really got to make sure that you are on it, as we are almost at the halfway point. A lap and a half has gone through very quickly, just like that. And no one has attacked yet. 5.7 kilometers to go at the front. Everyone's still sitting in. We've got 2 streams today, Mixer, by the way. So if you're tuning in and you're a returning viewer and you have followed and you are heavily vested in the CVRcade World Cup, well, thank you so much for being awesome. We've got 2 streams today. We've got Zone E now, and then we've got a stream later on tonight as we're on the Kim Fairchild GoPro view of Timothy Tomont here. As he moves to the left, the wind changes. We can see Monument Hall on the right for those that have seen the preview video. Looking at the scoreboard, Tim Fulford, Thomas, Timothy, Sadeo, they're up there. You do get, so when you look at the scoreboard, you've heard me say this before, but the bonus points are ever so crucial. Thomas Tibbling and Timothy Tamont will get maximum points from this stream here, as Thomas and Timothy are separated by 2 points on the scoreboard, but we're still yet to see fireworks. I think the philosophy may be that we've got some tough races coming up. Cityscape by New York right now, it's calm, it's collected. I'm enjoying this pace as it is now, but we've got Mountain Bike by Jesper, and it's got wind. We've got Dustball Crit, and it's got wind. I mean, it's CVRcade out there today, as you've got to choose the right moment to go and the right moment to pounce. As Thomas Tibbling here, new member of CCC, the yellow jerseys have made a brilliant pickup. But speaking of brilliant pickups, Alison Kubota, Matti Pikelny, they've been out there. They've been drafting their users, their riders. They've got Sadeo Ikeba joining the Cognition jerseys. And Sadeo is awesome. And it'd be good to see him getting in and getting more involved with the racing, because he's an icon. This man just oozes happiness and positivity. And we'll see if he can turn that into an aggressive attack. He won the performance bracket in CVR World Cup Los Angeles, and now, thanks to physical equalization, we're racing with the elites at the top here. Tim's on the front, 145. I think Tim Fulford right now, he's having his tea and biscuits, his scones. He is sitting in, and he is feeling comfortable about how this is going. And him and Timothy, they're sitting in. At some point, I think it will be Team Cycling Hub that lights the fuse. I think they will be the ones to say, right, guys, we've got a deadline here. We can't just be sitting on Guillermo and Orville all day. As Allison moves up on the right side, so does Robert, I believe that is. We look all across. Allison on the screen. So what's happening now, and the reason why no one is attacking, because when you're watching CVRcade racing, you're used to going, oh, he crashed, oh, he attacked, oh my goodness, can you believe it? The reason that isn't happening now is because you've got a mix of agendas in there. You've got the butts, and all they care about is riding their pace to the finish line. But then you have the other racers, Team Cycling Hub, Cognition, CCC. They all have different agendas when it comes to the racing. As we enter the final lap, we have an attack on the front. Sadeo Ikeba, the man, the myth, the legend, the shuffle begins. He attacks. But does he sit back up again? Allison perhaps is saying, oh, hold up, Sadeo. Maybe it's not the time to go. He attacked. He looks around, and now he sits back down again. 300 equalized watts from Sadeo. And on the left, Tim Fulford moves up. Timothy Tamont moves up. It's the last lap of racing, and you're watching a proper road race here as Tim Fulford attacks through the front, uses wind at his back. And you can see Tim Fulford here, wind at the back. He's going into the headwind, and he is off the front. Tim will not get points for preferred zone, so he's missing out on 16 points here. So for him to win the overall, as Allison also uses Quantum Shift, wind at her back, Razor's Edge, she flies on through the group, and she reaches out in glory to try and catch Tim Fulford as he is racing solo off the front. Thomas Tibbling as well here on the right, Razor's Edge. The fireworks have been lit. It is the 4th of July. Here we go. Who's brought the biggest cannon to the gun show? Thomas hits the back of Timothy there. Perhaps he's at 200 equalized heart rate. Luis Soberanes, is that you? No, it's Thomas Tibbling of CCC. Sadeo Ikeba still opting to be further down. Allison leading the chase. Tim, though, he'll need a significant amount of points because he's not streaming into the broadcast and he's not getting bonus points. So to win the finalized results, he's got to do a lot. As Tim is on the front, Sadeo Ikeba back in 8th place as well. He is with the bots and he's lost his teammate. He moves to the right. He tries to find a bit of drafting, but he's only at 169. He's got to go much harder, much higher to try and catch up with the front group. As you can see, Thomas, 198 equalized heart rate. He's sitting on the wheel of Allison and Timothy. They're 13 seconds down on Tim Fulford, and he looks to be in a good position. But speaking of being in good positions, Timothy Tamont, he has to do absolutely nothing here. He's got a racer up the road. He's got his captain. I can't tell if that's a thank you or a prayer or a bit of both from Timothy Tamont. As Allison on the front here, she has to do all the work, but Tadeo Ikiba 12 seconds back. He's falling further and further back. So the road captain from Cognition perhaps having other agendas as Thomas Tibbling sits on the wheel. You can see him in third position. He was at it was actually a 200 equalized heart rate. So setting new records at the front as we've got 1.3 kilometers left in this race. And that's going to be all she wrote for Cityscape New York City here in the first race. As you can see, Tim on the front. He's got 18 seconds down to Allison, down to Timothy. And he attacked. He's comfortable. He knows this race. The pace at that point has been so relaxed that he's had plenty in the tank left. He attacks over the top, and he's at 189. He's got more to give. Last kilometer for him. The real battle, though, is shaking up to be Timothy Tamont, Thomas Tibbling. The two racers both racing in, getting maximum points for the streaming and getting points for the preferred zones. That is a significant amount of points for that overall podium or overall omnium after the day. But Tim Fulford getting some good exercise. 700 meters to go for him. Allison leading the second group on the road. This is what she does best. 360 equalized watts. Tim uses wind at his back on the front. He accelerates once more as he's got 500 meters to go. He'll be happy with that one. But further back, an attack from Timothy Tamont. Quantum shift. Wind at his back. Alison Kubota reacting. Thomas Tibbling reacting. This is it. It's about a kilometer to go for this chasing group now. As Timothy on the right, Alison on the left. She's got quantum shift and she hits the back wheel of Timothy Tamont and Thomas Tibbling. A 195, 198, 182 from Alison Kubota. Tim Fulford will cross the line and win the stage, but Timothy Tamont will need these secondary points. He attacks. He's on the straightaway. He's got a right. He's got a left. He looks over the shoulder in real life, but there's not a rear view mirror there in the game. Allison sprints. She moves to the right. Thomas Tibbling, 200. He's got nothing left to give. It's going to be a close-on sprint. Timothy Tamont with the applause. 1-2 for Cycling Hub. Alison Kubota will take third. And now Thomas uses wind at his back. Oh, that would have been so crucial earlier on. He could have perhaps come around, but not using that power-up until the very end seems to be the end of him, as Tadeo Ikiba has just disappeared from planet Earth. So obviously not happy with that race performance, as you can now see the highlights. Timothy Tamont attacking away, looking over the shoulder. I'm not sure what he's trying to look for there. As Tadeo has entered the next race, mountain bike by Jesper. Allison going out there. She's going toe-to-toe, and she takes valuable points away from Thomas Tibbling there. But Thomas using wind at his back at the last moment. There was a moment where he had the opportunity to beat Timothy and Allison. You've got to use those power-ups. They make all the difference as Timothy crosses the line. Congratulations, Timothy. You and Cycling Up taking 1-2. It was it seemed like a rather relaxed pace for the first two laps. How did that race pan out from your perspective?
I started pretty hard and I immediately felt it. So I was like, yeah, no, because I was on the front, I just brought the speed down so the bots could catch up. And then we just sat on the bots for 2.5 laps. When Tim went, I knew I was in a great position. I just had to chase wheels. So Allison countered, got right to our wheel. Thomas came with us. And we just kind of sit behind Allison. She's an absolute machine when it comes to that. She just sits at that pace. You can draft her so easily. I love it. And then, I still had all my power-ups. So using wind at your back on the headwind section really helped out there. Good racing by Tim. Great tactics. We're doing good. 2 more, halfway there.
Timothy, we've got Channel 1 here. Channel 1 is the main page or main channel on Mixer, sorry. They come on through and they watch different aspects of Mixer, and they've come and chosen to come to the CVR World Cup page to watch CVRcade World Cup racing.
Great choice.
Obviously, but tell Mixer, tell Channel 1 exactly why it is you do it, because Timothy, they love you, they love Kayla, they love all these people with great personalities. Tell them, why is this fun. Like, you're riding, it looks to be suffering, but yet it's so incredibly addicting.
The addiction comes from my other addiction, just the gaming addiction, and this is pretty much just gaming. But you're getting fit. There's amazing teamwork going on. The racing so gamified. It's for everybody, and because it's equalized, it actually is for everybody because everybody's the same strength. It all comes down to who can suffer the most, has the best power ups, combinations, stuff like that. Best tactics. It's so great.
There you got it, Channel 1. Thank you, Timothy. Let's just get a word from Thomas Tibbling as well, because Thomas, I can't believe you had the wind at your back. Oh, when did you figure out you still had that one left?
Well, I guess I pressed the wrong button, so why isn't it coming up? Why isn't it coming up? Oh, shit! And then you had to press the right button, and then, it was too late. So, part of the game. Fun. But I enjoyed pushing it in the draft. So, I'm sort of curious, who and when somebody would attack and how to strategically hook on to that. Yeah.
Mountain bike by Jesper coming up now, Thomas. How much is left in the legs for this course?
Well, you see, if I'm all the way at the back, then you know how much is left.
That is brilliant. 10 seconds to go. Good luck, Thomas. Channel 1, what you're watching is the CVRcade World Cup Physical Esports. That's physically equalized, the game that makes fitness fun. Alison Kubota on the front, and we've just gone from a fantastical course where we're riding these halo-looking motorbikes. We went on to a road course where you've got your road bike, and it's time to dust off your mountain bike, suit up, and get ready to spin it out on Mountain Bike by Jesper. This World Cup racing, they're racing for the overall prize purse of $25,000. From riding your bike from your home, you do not have to move anywhere because you hook that bike up to a turbo trainer. You replace that back wheel, you jump on, you can see Alison, she's racing 20 kilometers, 40 kilometers from the comfort of her home. She may not be moving anywhere, but it's just as fun as being outside. Thomas Tibbling, though, you said you have to look where he is on the course. If he's off the back, then maybe there isn't much left, but I think he's playing poker. We've got 7 laps of this coming up. They feel the bumps, they feel the ups, they feel the downs. They've got the power-ups. Sadeo and Thomas Tibbling, they're together here at the back in the green and green. This is a 2 scoring multiplier event. So across the 4 races, we call that an omnium. You gather points. And now you've got Sadeo, you've got Thomas Tibbling. Timothy, Alison, and Tim are at the front as well. They have a 6-second gap. Cognition, rather, Alison, she's been getting really good at CVRcade lately, and she's become a force to be reckoned with here in the CVRcade World Cup. And when she races her preferred zone with her Cognition teammates, she comes out to play here. So they got to be careful of lap riders. Vanessa on the right, Tim moves on through. But Channel 1, if you're enjoying this and you want to catch the end, because I understand Channel 1 has a busy schedule, you can click CVR World Cup down in the bottom left-hand corner and come over to our stream, because we have another 30 minutes left of this zone today, because we're doing 2 streams. This is the first one. This is a more European-based zone and Asian. If you want to watch this all the way to the end and see who wins the last 2 races and who has got anything left, the crashes, the storylines, and the power-up usage, click CVR World Cup down below. And then when you come over here, there's a follow button. And that follow button, I know we're not Shroud, I know we're not Ninja, but one day, physical esports, it may be. Could you imagine Shroud? Oh, Thomas crashes! Thomas Tibbling, oh, he takes a tumble further back. He is so far up in the rankings. He is 4th, but he crashes into some rocks on the road. Just like in real life, if you do hit some obstacles, if you do hit the disabled lanes, you will take a tumble, as now that is all over. Homer Thompson, Sadeo Wikeba, they are making up the front group, but at the front, Alison, Timothy, Tim, you can see him here. But Channel 1 Mixer, we love to have you here. It's always a joy. We always see you come in and we're like, oh, yes, thank you for choosing our company today, because we do this for fun. We do it for the entertainment. We do it for the joy, because these people, they raise not because not because of all the existential stuff, because they want to, because they feel like this is so addicting, and they wake up and they go, right, on this Saturday, it is 12 o'clock most places, I'm gonna get on my bike and I'm gonna race, and I'm gonna be part of this collective, this community, and I want to beat Timothy today. Tim Fulford, he's gonna be put in his place. That's what I gotta do. And this is what different racers are waking up to do. And you get the blocking dynamics, you get the storylines, and it's absolutely fantastic to witness as Timothy Tamont, Tim Fulford, and Allison, a three-man breakaway. So we're coming up to the halfway point. Here's Kastrup corner. You've got to slam the brakes for this one. You've got to be careful. Timothy, he gets a bit lucky there. Slides into the back of Allison Kubota. There you got the finish line, and now they accelerate. Allison on the front. She's up here now. And she, like every racer, has different personality traits. Allison is a racer that likes to keep her pace. She likes to be in control, and she likes to know, right, this is my level of suffering. If I keep it to this, the pace is so high that nobody else can really attack over the top. And she sticks with it as the wind. This is the headwind section, 7 kilometers an hour. Sadeo Ikiba, Homer Thompson further down. Thomas Tibbling in 7th. He moves down. He's in 4th place, and he is 34 points down here on Timothy and Allison and Tim at the front. He's still got points to make up. He's got the bonus points. We've got Dospo Crit coming up after this, a community-created course created using the track builder in the game. 2.8 Ks to go. We catch our breath. We look around, and we take stock of the situation. Allison and Tim, lower equalized heart rates than Timothy, meaning that they probably aren't suffering as much as Timothy, but there's also the added additions of nerves. As Tim is on the inside here, as the bots on the right, Timothy slows down nicely. Allison gets on through, and it starts to become a move. Who's going to start to attack? Remember, Mixer and Channel 1, you're going to love this. There are negative power-ups in this race, meaning that there is a flat tire power-up. Everybody, and Allison uses hers like on command. You get a flat tire power-up, and it gives everybody else a flat tire. As Timothy and Tim, they use one of their 2 power plant power-ups to get back up to speed. But Allison opting to use hers there. That's going to be a long shot for her. Now she's got to keep the pace up to keep them in the hurt zone. Everybody gets one. Thomas Tibbling uses his, but then he also crashes. Oh, Thomas Tibbling. Oh, it has been a race of ups and downs. Thumbs up from the Swedish Viking. That is hilarious. Gotta love when the storylines play out the way they do. Allison and Thomas down a flat tire power up each. Team Cycling Up have 2 between them to use, and they can coordinate them as they now try and catch up to Allison. 2 laps remaining. Sadeo and Homer still have 1 each, as well as they can use their power-ups to perfection here. Coming in to Kastrup corner, Allison gets through safely now. 2 laps remaining. Can she do it? She's up against the odds, 2 versus 1. But Tim and Timothy, they've used 1 power plant. They haven't used their flat tires yet, and we look to see now as Timothy on the right side of Tim. There's the next one. Sadeo and Tim both use theirs at the exact same time. You've got to try and use the flat tire power-up when the person you are up against is on an incline. If you can get them to slow down on an incline, it kind of works like a double whammy. And if you can get them to use the flat tire or get a flat tire as they're on the top bit, that's even tougher as Tim moves on through. Timothy Tamont, 3 seconds back here. He still has a flat tire left, though. So if he keeps within the distance, but he's at 195. 1 lap remaining next time they cross the start-finish banner. Timothy is rocking like he's listening to Lose Yourself by Eminem. He's only got one shot left here as he's shaking his head. We'll see what the mustache man, the king of the bottom left-hand corner, has got left to show here for Channel 1 Mixer on a Saturday morning across the world, rocking in to watch physical esports. Thomas Tibbling, he is further down, not having the best of races, but he's still keeping morale high in the CCC squad. Allison Kubota comes through. Last lap. Ring the bell, everybody. This is it. Oh, Timothy Tamont. Oh, Timothy Tamont crashes in Castrop corner. Oh, this is detrimental to him now. He's still got flat tire. He uses it into the headwind. May just be a panic move now, as he's got 6 seconds to make up. And just like that, Allison is back at her top speed. Timothy at his top speed as well. And it's in ones and ones and ones. 600 meters to go. Timothy Tamont, Allison Kubota, Tim Fulford. Allison and Tim, despite not having preferred zones, they could be a real message. Like Allison is streaming in. She's getting points for matching kit and streaming in. And so she's getting a significant amount of points. And if she can beat Timothy by a lot on Dust Bowl Crit, she has got a legitimate chance here, as Timothy sits up and chooses to rest and save some energy for Dust Bowl Crit. Allison is still on in pursuit. She's 4 seconds down on Tim Fulford. Tim is off the front, and we can only imagine his just do it cap here, and he has just done and did it. So Dewey Keeper in 4th place, and he is hot on the heels of Timothy Tamont. He's having a great race here on Mountain Bike by Jesper. Tim Fulford able to sip up the jersey, hands in the air, point to the Cycling Hub kid, and he does end up winning Mountain Bike by Jesper. Allison second. Fantastic effort from the Cognition rider. Timothy Tamont, oh, he'll be thinking what could have been, what ifs. Just that Castrop corner, it plays a trick, and especially with the wind. Sadeo Ikiba is only 15 seconds down. If Timothy Tamont had one more lap, that could have been it. Sadeo in 3rd place. We tip our hat to the Ikiba shuffle as he is finishing next up. Homer here, though, uses flat tire. Homer still had his left, so he waited for everyone to finish and then to use his as they fight for the secondary positions. Will it be enough? 7 seconds to Sadeo. No, Sadeo Ikiba will cross the line, and then Thomas Tibbling, the Swedish Viking, with the thumbs up. Well, that is all she wrote for Mountain Bike by Jesper. Next up is Dust Bowl Crit, the 4th and last race here of the Zone E in the CVRcade World Cup. I wish it was a club. World Cup, as Tim at the front, 20 points ahead of Timothy. Timothy has got a 7-point lead on Allison, and then Allison has got a 27-point lead on Thomas Tibbling. We can see here's Tim crossing the line for the last time. So heading into the next race, we've got Timothy and Thomas on here, our 2 trusty broadcasters. I want to go and talk to Thomas once more, because Thomas, what just happened? You were there, and then, you just weren't. What happened, my man?
I was going to use some tactics with the bot, and then I missed the speed in that corner, so shit. I braked all I could, but it wasn't enough. And I usually should make that corner.
It was brilliant to watch. Oh, sorry, Thomas. No, it was really, really fun to watch, and that's what mattered. I mean, your thumbs up at the end had me in tears. What's it like to race a course like that, where you're technically, well, you are indoors, you're not really moving anywhere, but you gotta like turn, you gotta steer, and you gotta be careful of crashing? What's that gamification element like?
That to me?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, all right. I was seeing Allison on the screen there. No, it's
no
great.
worries.
It's great fun to just, try to figure everything out, keep on top of things. And where's that button? And suddenly you change button, and yeah. But I guess the more you ride, the better you get. So, yeah. So I hope for this one. This one will be tricky. And
yeah, Dust Bowl Crit.
Yeah.
This has got win once more, Thomas.
The first crash was really stupid because I was still in the uncrashable mindset, and I was thinking, okay, let's stick behind this boss. So I was just moving straight over into him, which was stupid, of course.
Don't worry, you're definitely not the first one to do that, Thomas. Good luck in Dust Bowl Crit coming up now. We've got Timothy Tamont as well in here. Timothy, Dust Bowl Crit coming up. You're up there with you and Tim. You've got Allison. It wasn't the best of races for you either, mountain bike. 50 seconds to go. Will you be better on this course?
Yeah, it's the last race, so it's just put everything on the table. We'll see. But I gotta say kudos to Allison, because that first flat tire when we were on the 14% uphill part, I was in such a big gear, I couldn't pedal. That was such a great tactic. I'm writing that down.
This is literally the CVRcade version of stealing somebody else's notes and homework to try and hand them to
Oh,
the
definitely,
teacher.
definitely.
Love
I'm not
it,
a cheater.
Timothy. 15. Wow. 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 15
Oh,
seconds to go, Timothy.
yeah, okay.
Good luck as we get ready now. Here we go. Last race of the evening. Zone E, CVRcade World Cup. We're almost into the bracketed session. Once more, Sadeo Wikiba, Thomas Tibbling, Vanessa Murahant, Homer Thompson, Tim Fulford, Victor Lundquist on the broadcast, Alison Kubota in here. Everybody who's helped make this a reality on a nice Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are watching this racing in. You rock, and without you, this wouldn't be possible. Dust Bowl Crit, community created course created by Ben Shuilong. It's got some technical corners, it's got some gradients, and with the 7 kilometers an hour wind, we now look as we've got the butts in there. They are all taking an early tumble. Timothy Tamont, Allison Kubota, Tim Fulford once more takes their separate spots. Tim comes on through. Allison is up there. Homer slides on through. But this is the first time up that steep incline, and side by side, you've got the 2 team leaders from Team Cycling Hub and Team Cognition. Allison by the side, and she comes over and she does crest the top earlier, but they've got to do that 5 times, and they only get 1 of each power up. 1 weight lifted, 1 racer's edge, and 1 inertia. At the back, Thomas Tibbling, he's just crested over the top. He's 5 seconds down as Allison, oh, she just overcooks the corner, as now Thomas will come on through. Will he also overcooks the corner. Not happy with that one. You can see the facial expression as Sharon Hackathorn does the same. Sadeo Wikiba also crashes. Everybody having a difficulty with that corner as they come tumbling down. And it really comes down to what Thomas said. It can be incredibly frustrating to raise CVRcade sometimes, but it honestly comes down to the amount of homework you do or the amount of homework you steal, as you heard Timothy so eloquently put it. It comes down to, have you raced enough to understand the different elements? As Allison at 62, oh, she gets hit by Homer. Oh, daylight robbery, and Allison crashes. Homer crashes. That was excellent. Allison, I have never seen anyone before hit 62 kilometers an hour on the uphill incline on these further parts into the Dust Bowl Crit. And she used inertia, this power up that locks your speed or whatever you're doing at the time of using it. And she attacked over the top, 62 kilometers an hour. And then Homer Thompson, who's on an opponent team, goes, I see you. I know that power won't allow her to slow down. I'm just going to hit you. I'm just going to block your path. And she went from 62 down to 40. And then when she panic pressed a move button, she crashed. Excellent gameplay from the sneaky Homer Thompson, as now they find themselves in 3rd and 4th. On the front, you've got Timothy Tamont and Tim Fulford linking up from the Team Cycling Hub colors. Looking at this, Timothy getting points. He would be poised to take Zone E here in the finalized results, because preliminary Tim Fulford is in here and he's getting some significant amount of points, winning the 2nd and winning the 3rd. Not winning the 1st. He could be the 3rd rider to join the Peter Castro and Kayla Laguna club of having won every single event in an Omnium, but not winning the 1st one there will be the difference maker for Tim Fulford, because I think he looks poised to take this one as Thomas Tibbling further down, razor's edge on the straightaway. He won't give up. He's got Homer, he's got Allison, he's fighting for secondary positions, and he's only 30 points down on Allison. And getting those points for his preferred zone, getting 16 points, he could move on up as Allison crashes again in 3rd place. She falls down now, as we can see what happens here on Dust Bowl Crit. Allison on the right, the Cognition kit, She has had a few stumbles here as Thomas Tibbling makes a connection. He's back up with the Cognition team leader on the incline. Gonna have to put down some power here as the gradient goes up. Homer Thompson, 20 seconds down on the chasing or the leading two, but they don't seem to be collaborating. You look at Tim, you look at Tim and you look at Timothy in first and second. There is a gap between them. They're not drafting each other. It's every man for themselves, as the Tim and the Timothy correlation may not be up to date with the latest legislation here. As you can see, 3 seconds, 4 seconds between us. Thomas Tibbling once more in the exact same corner chooses to have a look at the archaeology on the left-hand side there, probably just assessing the age of that rock. It could be between 29 and 30 years old, or perhaps even more, but I guess he's going to have to take another stop next time around to double check the facts. But Timothy and Timothy's a bit of trouble here. At 191, 190 equalized heart rate. We've still got several laps remaining of this. Allison, Homer, Thomas, they could catch Timothy if they race and they don't crash. If they use their power-ups. Timothy, I mean, he looks to be on the back foot, out of energy perhaps. Tim, strong as an ox, strong as ever. He is composed and ready at the front. But Timothy losing seconds. Homer only 20 seconds back. Allison as well. She's had 2 tumbles. She's used the inertia power-up, and we watch as it unfolds now. There's valuable points online here. Allison could move up on the podium provisionally and taking those points away from Timothy Tamont. You can see she's moving out to the left. Homer accelerating in here. It's good to see Homer Thompson from CCC also. 700 equalized watts. He goes again. He accelerates. He comes into this tight corner. You can only do about 28 kilometers an hour in this. As you watch the yellow jersey of Homer slowing down. You watch Allison slow down. And further back, Vanessa Murahan and Thomas Tibbling are working together. Homer uses inertia. I think Homer just pressed the wrong button. No. Inertia can be a blessing and it can also be a curse. And in this moment in time, Homer Thompson learns about the curses of the inertia power-up. Right now, behind the screen, I imagine Victor Lundqvist going, I did the same thing once. As when you use the inertia power-up at a lower speed, there's no coming out of it. Once that button is pressed, there's no unpressing it. As Thomas Tibbling, oh, does he do the same? He does the same. Oh, inertia at 34 kilometers an hour. Allison used hers at 62. Thomas at 34 and a half. As he now has to come back up on Homer and making it up. He now crashes. He tries to attack into the corner. This has just been, if you are watching this and you're watching it back, there are some great learning moments. Have your notebook ready. Write down those notes and be ready, because when you're racing the CVRcade World Cup and you're racing for a significant amount of money, it's not going to come easy. It may be physically equalized, but the skill required, the homework required makes all the difference. That's why you see Tim consistently performing well. That's why you see Matti, Frank, Kayla, Casey, Allison. They race, they practice, they get ready, and they understand that using a power-up like inertia poorly on a course like this is the difference between finishing top 3 and not even being top 10. That's essentially what it can come down to, and that can be frustrating as a CADE cadet, but it's an e-sport when it comes to the racing. It's not supposed to be like the day comes, you've raced hours upon hours on CVRcade. You've done 200 hours. You wouldn't want somebody who's just been on for 5 minutes to be able to, with closed eyes, just mash buttons and beat you. And that's where the gamesmanship, the level of just like awareness you got to bring to a race in CVRcade really shines through. Understanding the corner speeds, understanding the drafting, understanding optimizing your energy consumption during the 4 races. As you see Timothy Tamont on the screen, he is in good position to take the overall victory here with his bonus streaming points, with his bonus preferred zone, as his teammate Tim Fulford leading the preliminary scoreboard. But he's got to be careful because he might bonk. Now, I spoke to Timothy before the racing today, And Timothy was like, oh, Jess, but I've already had a full work day. I had nothing to eat at this point. I may boink in the second race, but now it looks like the boinking is happening in the fourth. Somebody get this man a Kinder Bueno. Make it 2, make it 4. As again, Timothy just praying, hoping that somebody can drop ship. And it's like the Hunger Games, you know, when you've got somebody you enjoy watching as a tribute, you send them in a care package, and Kinder Buenos to Timothy Tamont urgently required. As Alison Kubota, she is coming in hot. Look at the speed differential. Look at the equalized watts differential. Look at the equalized heart rate differential. She is flying today, as Thomas Tibbling is now down with Sadeo Ikiba. The two Cade cadets and Cade competitors find themselves in 6th and 7th here. Zone E of the CVRcade World Cup. We're coming to a close very soon, as Thomas has had a few silly crashes, as he said it himself, but I'm sure Thomas will look back at this stream and he'll try to notice what are some of the places where I could have done better. What did the power-ups do? And it's good to see that racing nonetheless is intense, addicting, and very, very just interesting at the top level. I've done this for the last, 9 months, broadcasting CVRcade racing. And honestly, every day is a new day. Every race is a new race. No 2 races are ever the same. And that's thanks to the streamers. It's thanks to the courses, thanks to the event creators. And it's fascinating and interesting to watch it all unfold live here. As you guys, you stick around. I mean, Channel 1 was here. You guys, some of you clicked on the CVR World Cup and you're watching the end of this and you're still like fascinating, because one time long ago, I was like you. I came across an ad for this. I came across a video of this, and I'm like, this exists? I've only ever seen Black Mirror. I've seen that episode where that guy spins to win cash. But this thing exists? How do I get involved? Well, how you get involved is CVRcade.com. That's where the website is. This is all free to play. If you want to get involved, download the app, play on your keyboard, play using a controller, or play using your legs. You can purchase the setup required through the hardware store in the game. Coming through Boulder Alley and entering the last lap of racing on the front, Tim Fulford, Timothy Tamont. It's been a team cycling hub kind of day, but Cognition and CCC are making the difference here as well. As Tim Fulford crossing that finish line now, we ring the bell, as that will be the last lap of racing for the Spitfire, as the chat on Mixer does like to call Tim Fulford. Timothy Tamont now coming into the tight hairpin. 17 seconds down to Allison. It's a lot to ask for on one lap. If you just ride it through and don't crash, I think Timothy may be safe and sound, but Allison, she is a hungry wolf. She races for Cognition. They will want a good result here as well. She's currently 3rd on the podium, but she's got a good chance here at catching Timothy Tamont coming through the tight corner. Now, she doesn't have inertia. She does not have her power-ups left, so she's going to have to ride this on pure willpower, strength, and emotion. 17 seconds. Tim Fulford uses Racer's Edge on the hill to get over the top. 1,000 equalized watts now from Tim Fulford. He's got a half a lap to go as the first hill is done, the first sprint. He can rest up. He can enjoy the side because he's won 3 out of 4 races here. And now, as you could just apologize for the power-ups there, as the executive producer is having a bit of an overload today on the side in the studio. But you can see Timothy Tamont also on the hill, accelerating over the top. Both of them having their inertias left. And when you look, I think if you go to Tim now, he's got his inertia left as he passes Sadeo. He's going to sprint into this hill. I think he's going to give this hill everything and then use inertia. Allison got up to 62 kilometers an hour. And now you see Tim, 41, 42. He's still sprinting. He may just not want to use his inertia whatsoever. As 20, 30 seconds down is Timothy Tamont. And we'll look, will Timothy Tamont use his inertia? He is down here. He's going to come through the line, and he's going to be the next one to come on through, as he has done a great race all around from Belgium. He uses Racer's Edge. He starts to build up the momentum. 41, 43, 45, 47, 49, 52. Will we see 60? No, we see 56, but that is plenty for Timothy Tamont, as he can now rest up for 10 seconds, and the gap to Allison starts to grow out again. We bring down the scoreboard and show you the status on the road, as all the spin class instructors on the left there forgetting how to race their bikes, is Tim Fulford at the top of the affair, 246. Timothy Tamont, 219. Alison Kubota, 204.5. That is prior to any bonus points being added. But with 100 meters to go, we clap our hands. Tim Fulford, solid day of racing. He's going to be racing later today, right here. He's going to be on the stream if you want to see what his point of view is like. But Tim Fulford winning Dust Bowl Crit and taking maximum points. He's going to be racing Zone K and Zone L, which starts in about 6 hours from now, I believe, 5 6 hours from now. So if you want to catch that action, click the follow button down below. As Timothy Tamont, I'm not sure what that was. Was he on the phone to somebody? What was happening there? But it might be calling for emergency backup as Timothy gets very lucky. He just almost hits into the butt on the left-hand side. As you can see, he is on the phone while racing. Might be ordering a pepperoni pizza, as Beth likes to call it. But work job done for Timothy Tamont, crossing the finish line in second place. Alison Kubota, Cognition in third. Vanessa Murahan getting up early. I think it's like 3 in the morning in Tucson. So shout out to the American crew for getting up early and racing. As you can see, Vanessa in the green coming through next to the finish line. Alison third. She can rest up assured. Also very early in the morning for her. Vanessa using Razor's Edge, sprinting to the end. I want to see Vanessa on stream one day. I want to see her suffering as well as she comes on through. Homer is next. Thomas Tibbling and Sadeo Wikiba further down. But that is the racing for you here in the CVRcade World Cup Zone E. Tim Fulford, Timothy Tamont, Alison Kubota, Thomas Tibbling, Homer Thompson, Sadeo Wikiba, Vanessa Murahan, Sharon Hackathorn, and the rest. You rock. Is Timothy Tamont here going, yes, express delivery, please, extra pepperoni. Yes, I need pepperoni. Not 10, not 12, 14 pepperonis. Thank you very much. As we catch the finish line here. Tim Fulford crossing through, and he will end up winning Dust Bowl Crit and preliminary, taking the overall result. But the bonus point at the end will make the difference here. You can see the applause. Physical esports, physically equalized, and that is all she wrote here. But Timothy Tamont, how about the racing today, Sony? You seem to run out of energy in the end. I think the question in everybody's mind is, how far away is that pizza?
Oh, no, it was work. I wish I got pizza right now. No, I had like 10 missed calls, and I was like, okay, this victory or the second place in this race is pretty much secured, so I guess I'll just pick up. Yeah. But I might order.
I never knew the
now.
pizza place could be so adamant about getting their customers to put a delivery through, but I guess you have a good place.
They call me to bring pizza.
Race. It was a good race, Timothy. You and
definitely.
Tim there. Were you working together, or were you working alone? Because it looked like there wasn't too much cooperation.
Oh no, there was no communication. So as soon as Allison crashed, I had to spend a lot of energy to try and stay with him. So that helped for like a good lap and a half, I think. But she crashed again, and I think it's more mentally. Then I was like, okay, I can go a little bit easier, and then I lost the wheel, and I couldn't fight back to get on. So it was surviving. I think she crashed again then, and I was like, okay, you can't give this up. You got this. And then, yeah, just suffering till the end.
Now, this zone is very different to the rest, because usually we race in the evening. This is your preferred zone. How do you like racing at midday your time?
It's not really. The only real difference here is the field is a bit smaller, so I got more of a chance, I guess. Because in the evening, you got the likes of Ben, of Frank, Kayla, Sebastian, all those adding as well to Tim, to Homer, to Allison, of course. It's, yeah, the more they are, the harder it is, I guess. So it's better sometimes to race in a smaller field for me.
Well, congratulations, Timothy. We'll await the bonus points, but I do think you have that one in the bag. Thomas, if you're still here, Thomas, I saw you crash a few times. You had a look at the rock by the side of the road. What happened to you in this race?
No. It's just, I'm just having fun. A lot of fun. And I guess there's a significant delay on the mixer, but it doesn't matter. Uh, no, I was just, I'm going to name one event, and the first one I really enjoyed, and the second one I was pushing really hard. And then, as I said, my endurance isn't really there, but I'd rather use it in the beginning and towards the end. And then as things got tricky, with the quarter speed, I'm just braking too much sometimes, and then I forget to brake, and then, you crash. And once you crash, it's so difficult to come back. And you just hope that someone else will crash so you can catch up. But my goal, I've set a goal, is at least in this open bracket to reach 1,000 points. We'll see if I make it.
Well, on that note, Thomas, we've got more racing tonight. Will we see you back for some K&L?
Yeah. All right.
That's the spirit.
But then I hope my skin will be fixed, because I'm still racing on blue on the screen, but I do wear yellow now. And I don't know if you see it.
What does that say? Just the death ride?
Yeah, you know that ride?
No, I do not. I can't say I do.
My young years, it's in Nevada. It's a tour, the death ride, well, actually of California. You ride across it's several peaks. I think it's a total of 16,400 feet. And I don't remember how many miles it was at that time. Great experience. I guess the California people on this arcade knows that ride pretty well, if it still exists.
Well, we've got several people from California, so we'll see when they come back on a race. But thank you, Thomas. I look forward to watching you tonight. Good luck on your quest to getting 1,000 points. This has been awesome. This has been so epic. And Channel 1, you've been here. Mixer, you've enjoyed it. Click that follow button down below. Before we head off, let's run all the replays and catch up on all the action through Zone E. We started on Aqua Velo. It was a brilliant race. Thomas with an early attack being countered by Timothy Tamont and Alison Kubota. That was the move. The three riders had to set the tone. As you can see, Timothy standing up. He still had something in the tank. Thomas Tiberling spinning away, but there they go. 50 meters to go. Side by side, Allison and Timothy closing in on the sprint, but Timothy Tamont just getting the advantage. Cityscape New York, the first 2 laps, they were comfortable, they were nice, they were easy. They were, well, I can't say they were easy because there's no such thing as easy racing on CVRcade, as many of these riders can attest to, but they were comfortable as everybody was sitting in, drafting Orville, drafting Hubbard, drafting Elijah. As they sat in, they got ready. Allison, though, starting to get a bit antsy on the right. Sadeo attacked away on the front, as well as you can see him in the blue kit here. Allison being ready with her teammate. Then Tim Fulford said, enough is enough. It's time to put down Thor's hammer, and saying, Mjolnir, I'm going to strike lightning. And lightning he struck, he attacked away, and no one was able to follow that move as 3 riders tried to follow as well. As not sure what just happened there. I think it may just have been a fat finger from our producer. It's okay. You can watch the race. Yes, it's all happened. It's all good. You can watch all the rest of the highlights over on CVRcade Facebook if you want to watch it, unless you can go through it once more. It is early over in the UK, and just like when you use your power-ups and you use inertia at the wrong moment when you come to the finish line, it does happen when you've got the keyboards and you roll your fingers across. We do so many streams that it can happen from time to time. But CVRcade Racing, if you want to get involved, head over to CVRcade. Head over to the CVRcade.com website and sign up to the action, as you can see me doing. Sadeo Ikiba is known for the Ikiba Shuffle from the CVR World Cup races that he's attended. He's a legend in the community, and it's awesome to have him involved in the racing. And Tim did attack off the front with Sadeo, and Sadeo got put off the back again after that as he headed into Mountain Bike by Jesper, where he had a better experience. But you can see Tim really utilizing the power-ups to his advantage. turning that headwind into a tailwind, attacking off the front here and getting away. The third group further down, Allison using quantum shift, getting the draft and just attacking right on through the group, and it forced a reaction from Thomas Tibbling and Allison Kubota, Timothy Tomont. They were there, and now they had a 3-man group as they passed Monument Hall. It was a truce, but not a truce for long, as Timothy Tomont was in a good position with his leader up the front. And as that happens, he ups to attack away. Quantum shift coming on through. Uncrashable is on, so they didn't have to worry. He looked over his shoulder, but nothing to be seen. There's Allison and Thomas both being dropped off the back. And then Thomas, not quite knowing which button was the wind at the back power-up, that crucial power-up that turns a headwind into a tailwind. Timothy Tomont, applause as cycling up takes 1-2 on that one. Then we headed on to mountain bike by Jesper, the high skill event of the day. Tricky course that requires a lot of brain power, because you got to be careful of the corners. You've got to be careful of the rocks on the road, and you got to be careful of lapped riders as well. So here we go. It was the flat tire power up that Allison used as they were at the top of the hill. That was so good, and she rides right on through that. Timothy Tomont said that was a brilliant move, and it really was, because it functioned like a flat tire, but also like a quantum shift. So Allison Kubota, 10 out of 10 IQ there. She used that to her advantage, but it wasn't enough, as the riders down the road, once more, flat tire being used to slow down the riders. It's a fun power-up to see. It's a counter power-up you can use at the right moment to slow somebody else down or to try and attack right through the group. As Allison here entering the last lap, it's Timothy Tomont just getting a bit too comfortable in the corner and chooses to have a closer look at those rocks as well. Different rocks, not the same rock in Dust Bowl Crit. This one is a bit younger, as you can see. Tim crossing the finish line on mountain bike by Jesper, taking his second win in a row and heading into Dust Bowl Crit. It was shaping up to be a good finale at the top, as Tim Fulford crosses the line, sips up the jersey, can celebrate with the Cycling Hub jersey. Dust Bowl Crit, last race of the day, and it was a crash fest. And come in here, you can see Allison coming in hot. She's going to crash over the side, just a bit too quick in it. Then Thomas Tibbling also crashes in this corner as she's slowing down too much. If you squeeze on the brakes hard, just like in real life, the back wheel is going to start giving out because there's no traction. When Timothy Tomont, Tim Fulford, they were on the front together here. 2-man breakaway. They had a significant gap as Allison once more crashed with Homer Thompson. She used her inertia at 62 kilometers an hour. I have never seen that before. That is very impressive to get up to that speed, as then Thomas Tibbling once more taking a side by the road as Thomas and Vanessa side by side. Homer Thompson used inertia. I think that's just a fat finger. I think, unfortunately, you're trying to reach for the weight lifted or the racer's edge, but your finger rolls over and touches that power up that just sets you at whatever speed you're doing. At 36, you can go a lot quicker, as Timothy Tomont will show you later on. As this is where he's asking for the Kinder Buenos. He needs some sort of power up. But that's it. Tim Fulford crosses the line for the last time of the day on Dust Bowl Crit, wins the third race in a row, and will take a lot of points towards the overall stand. Is Timothy Tomont inertia that does not want to get to 60 kilometers an hour. He will come over the top here, as you can see the instant replay, and he will finish in second place, because he had to answer work calls as he's coming to the finish line. So it's quite funny, as you can see Timothy Tomont in a second. I thought he was off. I thought he was ordering pizza. I thought he was on the limit. Beth York always say they are ordering pizza. So, I mean, it does make sense. I would do the same thing. But in the end, Tim Fulford winning the stage on the front. Timothy Tomont next up over the line here, as he has one more tight corner to go. I mean, this is a brilliant highlight. This could have all sort of captions on here when you're racing. But that's all the racing we have for today. We've got more racing later on for Stone KNL. We're going to be live in 4 hours time, I believe, 5 hours time. So make sure, click that follow button, come back. If you want to race, CVRcade.com. But until then, we'll see you. But no, Beth, your goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.